What's
I
up,
feel so
Vivi?
fancy. I feel so fancy with that intro.
I know. I'm sorry that we got off to a bit of a late start. Javier and Mitch went a little long there, but if we need be, we will go past 3 o'clock to get to all of these questions. First off, how was your trip? Hope you enjoyed it.
It was awesome. Yeah, the snow was amazing. So it
Good.
was, I mean, one of the kids, my friend's kid, broke her wrist on the first day. So that was a bummer.
Oh man.
Yeah, snowboarding. So
Do you board or you ski?
I snowboard.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, but
I'm a skier myself.
yeah,
Are you goofy or
I'm a
no?
goofy. I'm a goofy at
Me too.
surfing
I'm
and
goofy.
snowboarding.
I'm goofy. I took a lesson once and I was goofy.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, she broke her wrist, so my daughter no longer had her sidekick. So it's kind of a bummer,
Oh
but
no,
it is what it is.
bummer.
But the
Okay,
conditions were amazing.
good. Glad to hear. That's all you can ask for. All right,
Yes,
let's talk stocks. I'm gonna pull my charts here.
yes.
Vivi, walk us through what's going on your screens today.
The market is ugly today, huh? But I have
A
a
little
couple
bit.
of my biotech stocks that are keeping me a little happier than usual comparing to the market. So did you check BCRX? We're doing really, really well on that one. I
Yeah.
hope Jason's still holding.
I believe he. I don't know for sure, but I believe he is. I think he would have made a big deal if he
Yes.
had so.
So there's so many good, exciting news coming. We're still waiting for the Factor D pipeline data to come out.
Whoops.
And we're still waiting for the European approval. And some people are pointing out to me that the $15 calls are kind of a hot coming up, I think, for March. So I think people are expecting news and people are very bullish on BCRX. So when people, say, oh, can we change tickers? It's just because there's so much upside on this company still that I will continue to talk when I still see a room for growth. I won't stop talking until until I exit the position. But this company here has a bright future, so I'm really, really excited, and that's why it's doing so well, because everyone is on anticipation of waiting for data and also for approval, and also we have earnings coming, which is coming up this week. So we're going to report the first sales numbers for their only oral medication for HAE. So that should be very exciting week for us.
All right, so BioChrist looking good, up 1%, and that up 1%, that means a lot more on the day the market's down, right? Because it's one thing if like your stock is up and the market's up. That doesn't say a lot. That doesn't say anything about your stock. But if your stock is up and the market's down, that says something.
Yes, definitely. So another one that I want to point out that I'm losing money right now, but I'm not really concerned. I feel like there is definitely some manipulation on that stock because we're waiting for FDA approval in 6 days. 18X. X is ATNX. ATNX is people are gonna completely. It's so funny. They're gonna chase once we get approval. But I'm very bullish on this company, not just short term, but long term. They have this molecule, Sequidar, that has the ability to turn, IV chemotherapy into oral pill. And right now, we're waiting on the approval for breast cancer. And let me give you guys some little background why you guys see our data on metastatic breast cancer first. It's because it's kind of unethical to do a neoadjuvant. So meaning neoadjuvant is when you treat a breast cancer before surgery. And so they want to do metastatic because they wanted to do it as a third line. Because it's unethical to put a patient as a first line on neoadjuvant on breast cancer. But think about it, all the neoadjuvant patients are on their teeth. When we do seek data, seek studies on that, it's going to be huge because younger patients with breast cancer on their 30s. They're busy. They don't have time to go to the hospital. But in terms of a savings, I mean, this oral pill is going to save $1,000 per patient just per dose compared to the IV. So hospitals are going to save a lot of money because, or not hospital, I'm sorry, payers are going to save a lot of money because that's going to avoid patients from going into the hospital settings. So the pipeline is amazing. You know, as long as they all the studies they have in the pipeline are from generic chemotherapy that are on intravenous, they're all going to become oral formulations. So I'm still very bullish, even though, you know, I'm a negative almost 2,000 here because one of my prices that I paid was 14, but it's just my long-term price for this, it's at least 20. Actually, my short-term price up approval is $20 a share. So I'm very, very bullish on this company.
All right, show me the money.
Yes.
Show me the money. That's right. All right.
And then we have our baby. You guys, did you get on that, Spencer, the KMPH?
No.
You didn't, huh?
I am surprisingly lazy.
Yeah.
when it comes to my portfolio,
So you don't want to have to watch anything. You just put everything tuck in.
I like to think about buying things, and then I think about it forever.
Yeah.
So don't follow me when it comes to that, because
So this company is interesting because they I never even told you guys the story about this company. They got delisted from NASDAQ, and that's why they lost out the institutional investors before they came with the phase 3 data. So they lost they got delisted, and then we did a reverse split. And that's why the market cap is so tiny. But I'm really, really positive that we're getting approval March 2nd. Like, again, I don't advise anybody to hold through PDUFA. I usually don't do it. But when I have a conviction in certain companies, I do it because this is not one hit wonder. So if that dies, I will buy more and average down because they do have a lot of good stuff in the pipeline. And they also just have a patent to make molecules with less side effects, less insomnia, and less loss of appetite. So they're going to be able to sell that patent to other companies so they can use when they're doing other drug discovery. So I'm very, very bullish here. I feel like we can get 15 before approval. And then the sky is the limit over here. So I'm holding.
And again, just to repeat, the PDUFA date is when?
March 2nd.
March 2nd. Okay.
Yeah, so right around the corner. And then I added, there was a lot of people asking me about Itrm. So I added to my swing position. They do have 2 catalysts coming up. They have they're coming up with the antibiotic for urinary tract infection to compete with Cipro, because a lot of patients don't tolerate well Cipro. And they have 2 conferences where they're gonna be presenting. February 25th, they're gonna do an SVB Leerink Annual Global Healthcare Conference. So that's exactly in 3 days. And then we have the big biotech conference, which is HC Wainwright Global Life Science on March 9th. So I am holding this. My price target short term is 4. So I'm still holding. So that's one of my additions. I added at 210, 212. So I'm a little bit under the water here, but I'm not really concerned. And then I also added INFI. And I added right after the offer at 4, and now it's like at 376. They do have some data coming out, but their preliminary data with the Genentech, addition to Genentech drug, is very, very promising. And I was looking into the data for this company with a friend of mine that sells the company that has the drug that you're studying with. And she said that everything pans out the way it's panning out in phase 2. She said that there will be a huge addition to the breast cancer portfolio. So I'm holding, and I'll probably swing a little into the data release, and then leave some long term in my account for sure. Another one that I feel like this is a $10 stock is NSPR. So NSPR, I feel like they're holding the price down because there is a possible vote on the reverse split of a stock. And so a lot of people ask me, what is a reverse split? So it is a reverse split is a way of companies to do few things. They can either do one for to regain compliance with the Amex or NASDAQ, and they also do it to reduce the amount of shares that they have outstanding, to eventually, which is kind of a sucks, to eventually to add more shares to dilute, to raise more money. That's what happens when you don't have a company that has a product, but this one has. And then they also do it to increase the share price of the stock. So to increase the share price, to be able to be more attractive to institutional companies, because a lot of these institutional companies cannot or will not buy anything under 5. So that's one of the reasons. And the reason I'm still very bullish here is that I posted on Twitter is that not only they got clearance to start FDA trials for their amazing new stent, but also they are just had a China. China is a huge market. They just have distribution deals with China. They will report some earnings on their sales all over the world, and they just had a renowned cardiologist added to the team to start trials in the US. So in that case, they don't want to reach compliance on RS. They are trying to do this to acquire more investors. And I'm okay with that because they do have a really small float as is. So their float is only 30 million. So even if they do a 1.5 RS, the float is going to be tiny at 6 million. So at short term, you might see a little dip, but then it should rip right back up. That's exactly what happened to KMPH. I was negative at first, and then I am way positive. I'm 100% profit on KMPH, but they also went through a reverse split for that reason. So still very bullish here on this company. I feel like this company has a huge upside potential, and having Dr. Gary Rubin part of the company. That's another thing too. All these insiders added February 10th. They added way over 1 million shares among all 4 of them. So if they're not concerned with the RS, neither should I be. So I feel very confident this is a long-term hold for me, and I'm holding at least until 10 for sure. And what else do we have? That's an SPR, HJLI. I am still holding that one long. I told you guys that the only company out there that has a solution for CVI, which affect millions and millions of the patients and is a very painful illness. The only remedy right now is bandage. So when you look at the trials that they've done, 100% improvement. These patients are actually going back to exercises. So if you guys go and Google CVI, it's a very debilitating vein disease. So I am holding long. We should be receiving some news from our trials, some updates in our trials from the FDA as well. So definitely holding long this company. This company is going to be amazing. So tiny little market cap as well. So, but they also went through a reverse split, and I feel very, very confident with this company, and not a lot of people know about this company. So, and I guess I could go to questions and answers if you guys wanted to get there. Yeah.
Let's do it. We've got a few tickers, as always. People have their questions and they need their answers.
Yeah.
Here's a question. Someone's asking, is Jazz considered biotech? Yeah, Jazz is biotech for sure.
Of course.
Yeah, Jazz is one of the larger players. Let's see. Jazz bought Kite, and then who they just buy? They just bought Gilead, right?
No,
not Gilead. Not Gilead.
Gilead bought Kite.
Gilead bought Kite, and they bought GW Pharma. That's what Jazz bought. Jazz bought GW Pharma. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So let's see. Tickers. You know UBX? You don't need biotech?
No, I never heard of that one.
Okay.
Write it down.
Can you talk PAVM? PavMed? You know that one? PAVM?
No, I do not know that one.
What about MREO? Mirio.
Oh yeah, I like that company.
Why?
I like it a lot. They just have a good pipeline. I think there's a really good potential there. But like I said, I can't own them all. Like I can't have my portfolio being 40 biotech companies. I'm not a biotech hedge fund, but there's a lot of companies out there that I would have loved to own, but I just have to, to pick between, so, but I like that company.
When you say they have a good pipeline, what does that mean? They have a good pipeline? Why?
They just, the last time, now I have to go here and check, but I remember the last time I checked, I swing that stock before because it's a low flow, and I just saw that they looked really good and they had some data coming out, and they are going to be also featured at the Fireside Chat on the conference I told you guys February 25th. So just the data that they present, the last news that they had. So it, when I'm saying pipeline, there's potential, for sure. There's a potential here.
Okay. Going back down here. Any news on Sava? I didn't see any news on Sava.
There was some news on Sava, right? Oh, they're waiting for their phase 3 data.
Going to my Benzinga Pro, there is news.
They're waiting for phase 3 data.
They reported end of phase 2 results with the FDA for its Alzheimer's candidate. Man, maybe you can translate this for me here. I'll make it bigger. Maybe we can have Vivi translate this for the rest of us.
Let me see. Maybe I'll just go here. Let me see. Let me see here. I should have had my Benzinga Pro.
Okay. Deal reached to use ADSA COG as co-primary efficacy endpoint. Phase 3 program remains on track to begin in the second half of the year. All right. We got a timeline.
Yeah, we do. Oh, yeah. So Cava Science announced positive end of phase 2 meeting with the FDA and outlined. So, yeah. So they're just saying, hey, the phase 2 looks really good. Let's move on to phase 3.
There we go. We're getting there. We're getting there. That's what you want to see, right? Okay.
And it looks really, really good because it says here the potential Alzheimer's treatments open doors for lucrative licensing deals. So there's not a lot of really good Alzheimer medications out there. So that looks promising, this company, yeah.
Awesome. Okay, back to the chat. Let's go to The Nation is asking about DPW. That's not a biotech, is it?
That's not a biotech. Right. Doesn't it move with the Bitcoin? I think that's this company moves together with Bitcoin.
That's a crypto play. What about
it's a crypto play. I've played that one before.
What about CLSN? I don't know this one. So
Celsion. I played this company so many times. It's a cancer. I don't remember. They just, look at it today. I don't know if they had a news, but I've played this stock before. But I couldn't tell you why I play. Okay. So they receive FDA fast track designation for the Gen 1 advanced ovarian cancer. So that's why it rised today. that they had got fast tracked. So that means that, you know, that's really good news when you get fast tracked, is because the FDA feels a need of accelerating the process. You know, like, let's stop with the, you know, the BS of like a lot of paperwork. Longer, like when you fast tracked is like, okay, let's get this drug on the market. Let's start studies. So obviously they're seeing something here, you know, that is promising. So yeah.
What about I gotta scroll up here. There's so many questions. We've talked about BNGO. I feel like
BNGO is an amazing company. I needed to add it on my long-term account. I really do. Yeah. BNGO, it's one of the companies I want to just leave it on my IRA. I feel like
wow,
it's an amazing company. Yes. So it's definitely a huge potential there.
We've talked about TRVN at length, ONTX. Like
they were asking.
We've mentioned that before, right?
Yes, we mentioned that before. They, you know, they I just got hammered at Twitter because I said a long term. I mean, they're still studying in mice, you know. So I don't like to because of my previous experience with so many reverse splits throughout, a stock that you buy at 2, 5 years later, you would have to be at 50 to break even, and the stock is still at 5, you know. I have several examples, but I think short term should be a good swing. You know, the charts look good. But long term, I mean, I would have traded around my core if you really, I mean, it looks promising, but it's in mice. I mean, if we could get every drug in mice to be promising humans, oh my God, we would have like found the cure of cancer. There's so many drugs out there that you study in mice, and then when it gets to human trials, it doesn't even pan out. So it's not a company I would hold. And I got burned. This company, I got burned. The CEO phase 3 announced 4 weeks earlier, and he kept saying that, oh, we are in talks with the FDA for new drug authorization. We're gonna seek approval, and they released the data 4 weeks earlier, and it was totally a flop. I lost a lot of money. So yeah, I'm a little bitter on that company for sure. I don't even want to touch it because I feel CEOs completely deceived everyone. So I'm a little hurt with the company. So I would be a little biased to give my opinion on it. But if you want to swing it, I think it's a great choice. You know, if you look at the technicals, but fundamentally, I feel like there's many years ahead to get there. Oh, nine. No. Hey, swing. I mean, if you want to swing, that's great technically, but don't marry a stock that does not have a commercial product. That's all I'm saying. That's it.
What about Red Hill, RDHL, Red Hill Biopharma? You know that one?
Yeah, I heard that one. That one seems to be good. There's some really good potential. Don't ask me what was but I've seen it and it looks good. Yeah, I definitely approve that one.
Wayne, how do you subscribe to the Benzinga newsfeed? pro.benzinga.com. There should also be a link in the description of this video. But if there isn't, pro.benzinga.com. To answer your question, Wayne, we'll do a couple more. Let's do a couple more. Let's look at CRSP. We know that one. That's not necessarily.
Yeah, that's an amazing. It's amazing company. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
that CRISPR technology. I mean, no doubt, is amazing company.
TMDX Transmedics.
Never. No, I have not heard of this one.
Chilled Monkey says portable transplant machines. Okay.
Wow.
Don't know anything about that.
Mm-mm.
Cool. All right, let's find one that Vivi knows before we wrap it up here. CTRX. That's right. Or CRTX, I think is what they meant. CRTX.
Yeah, I heard good things about this company too.
Okay. CBBT we've discussed.
Yeah, I'm still holding that one, guys. I mean, It sucks the recent move, but they are acquiring a company that has revenues already. So it's just, for me is I'm holding long. I feel like there's a lot of potential here.
Okay. Brian Penny's asking if CLGN any good. That
Never heard of that one. Oh my God, there's so many of them. Never heard of that one.
Rapid fire. HTBX, Heat Biologics.
Yeah, I used to play the COVID play. I bought it at 95 cents and I sold 80% at $4. And then I think if that's the price, I think maybe they went through a reverse split because it was a few months back. But I do not know the updates on their COVID. That was a COVID play for me a few months back. Okay. So I couldn't tell you if there's anything else in the pipeline. You know, at the beginning of a COVID, it was the race to get to it, you know, and then
I remember Lake. I remember Cytodin, CYDY. I remember APT.
I'm still holding Cytodin, CYDY, not because of a COVID. Believe it or not, my friends at Genentech told me that, you know, the breast cancer initial dosing data was amazing, and it was at $3. They like buy it and hold in your IRA, and that's exactly what I did. You know, I didn't buy a lot of it, but I bought 2,000 shares and I left there. Like long-term hold. But I guess they just unblinded the study. That's why people are a little nervous. They announced, of course, after studies done, you unblind the study, because what happened is you do a double-blind study and you don't know who took the medication and who didn't. So now they're unblinding the study, but the fact that they announced that they're in talks with the FDA to review the results, that make people nervous. You know, so that's why the stock it's reacting the way it's reacting, because people really don't know what's going to happen to, you know, once they read the trials for COVID.
Would SENS be considered biotech? SENS? Yeah, of course it would.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is biotech, guys, is more of when you have a biologic, like when you have more injections, when you have SENS is more like a diagnostic. It's not considered, but you know, it is on a I would say on a window of a pharma biotech. So they're all together. I'm holding calls, $3 calls here, because they are waiting for approval in the summer. But they are amazing because they have, you know, you put in little kids the blood sugar device for 180 days instead of your usual every month, every 3 months. I think I don't have diabetes, but this one you just place and you can monitor your child's or adult blood sugar levels, but you don't have to keep replace them. It's for 180 days. So that it's a really good company. I'm really positive. Roche owns 11% of that company too.
Oh, good to know. Good to know.
Yes.
All right, we went a little long, but we got a late start, so it's all good.
Yes.
Vivi at biotech_ST. Her Twitter handle is up on the screen there. Vivi, thanks a lot for hanging out with us. We'll talk to you again tomorrow.
Yes, I'll see you guys. Okay, bye-bye.